Hi, I'm Topher. I'd like to talk to you about xCloud. We're going to talk about what it is, how it works, and what it can do for you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up a WordPress site in just a few minutes. Let's get started. xCloud is actually two different products. One is a VPS, virtual private server, management panel, and the other is managed hosting. So you set up a VPS and then they help you run it. Many hosts actually put your website on a server with other websites, and you have neighbors, and they can use resources that should be available to you. With a VPS, you own all of the resources and you have no neighbors unless you put them there yourself, but then it's your choice and you can manage the resources on your server. One of the cool things about the xCloud panel is that it can be used to manage VPSs on nearly any host. Here's a list. There's DigitalOcean, Vultr, Hostinger, AWS, Google Cloud, Linode, any other provider. And then also, this is key, xCloud managed hosting. You can host your VPS with them. Then, once you have a VPS, they have some pre-configured solutions for you. Managed WordPress hosting, that's what we're going to talk about today. But then also WooCommerce, Laravel, LLM, PHP, Node, and there are many, many others. Most WordPress managed hosting companies will only support WordPress. xCloud will support just about anything you want to put on there. But then, let's also talk about pricing. Right here, you can configure your server. I recently, myself, got a 2 gigabyte server. My old host wanted to charge me $1,000 for 2 years of hosting for quite a few websites, to be fair. However, I got a 2 gig server from xCloud for $12 a month. And I'm paying monthly, so I'm not paying a large fee every year. This is a pretty small site. I mean, my website's not that big. But look, you can get really huge. You could pay, to be fair, a large amount of money, but for an extraordinary number of resources. And if you really just need something for just one little blog or something, there's a $5 a month plan, and that works great. All that to say, hosting your own site on your own VPS with xCloud is much, much cheaper than more traditional WordPress managed hosts. xCloud also has a reseller program where you can configure your account to white label their services and make your own hosting company. So if you host many websites, you can put them all inside your own setup. And you can either have multiple VPSs, or you can have one large VPS with multiple sites on it. The other thing I want to talk about is some technological things. Something you get with a VPS is root access. And what that means is that you have complete control over every aspect of the entire server. Now, we've talked about it. I want to show you how it works. This is my admin account. I have a VPS here, but I'm going to make a new one to show you how that works. Right here in the top right, I'm going to click New Server. And here's where you can choose where you want it hosted. And I want to point out that these other services charge not very much because the VPS isn't crazy expensive. But if you do it through xCloud, you get some credits. So there's an advantage to using xCloud even on another host. But I'm going to choose the xCloud managed VPS. So I create a server name. And I'm going to choose WordPress, but I want to show you how many options there are here. I mentioned before there are many more than were on that short list, and you can see that here. So I'm going to choose WordPress. Server tags are for your personal organizational use. I'm not going to make one. They're not required. And then server type. There's general and premium. So I'm going to choose the newcomer, $5 a month here, 1 gig, 25 gig of space, 1 virtual CPU, and 1 terabyte of bandwidth. But if you go premium, then that goes up to 32 gigs of space. So we're just going to choose the basic one. And then you can choose your region. You want to choose one relatively close to your audience, which may not be you. But I'm going to choose North America, and I'm going to choose Chicago because that does happen to be near me. And then operating system. I like the latest version. You can't really go wrong here. Both versions of Ubuntu are great. Database, I like MariaDB, but again, MySQL would work absolutely fine. And then I'm going to turn on backups. Now, there's an additional fee for backups. It's $1 a month, which is pretty amazing. And that allows for both local backups and remote. Then you can choose your web server, Nginx, or Open Lightspeed. I like Nginx. And so my total cost is going to be $6 a month because I got the backups. So let's hit create. And there we go. Now, this is going to take a few minutes. All right. Our server has been created for us. It's ready to go. Under management, we can go to settings, database, cron jobs, supervisor, PHP configuration, database configuration, sudo users for your root access, monitoring, security, backups. There's a lot of material here, but I want to show you how to set up a WordPress site. So right here in the top right, I'm going to click new site, and there are a bunch of options here. We're going to choose install from new, and you can choose default or build with an AI. We'll put in a site title. And again, you can create some tags for organization. That's up to you. You can choose to go live if you have a domain name that's ready to go. But if you're not, you can do a demo site, and it'll use a temporary domain name that lets you build the site. And then when you're ready to go live, there's actually a button labeled go live, and you can do that. So I'm going to choose demo site, and right here is the one they suggest. I'm just going to make it like that because it's pretty. xCloud supports multi-site. Many hosts don't, and it's kind of annoying. So if you need multi-site, this is a great way to get it done. I'm going to turn off indexing because I don't want Google to track this site. It's not a real site, so I'm going to leave it off. We are going to have full page caching turned on and Redis object caching. For email, you have several options. You can get email service from somewhere else. You can buy some from xCloud's managed email service and keep it in-house. You have a lot of options. So I'm just going to use xCloud managed email service. Site backup settings. I haven't set up backup settings, so I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to say they are unconfigured. So I'm actually going to leave this off. Normally, before setting up your site, you would go into the backup section of your VPS and say, this is how I want to do backups. And then for blueprints, there's Elementor sites, Gutenberg sites, and WooCommerce sites. I'm going to choose Gutenberg because that's just the kind of guy I am. You can also create your own blueprint. So if there's something other than what you want here, you can set that up. Under more advanced settings, I like that. I'm going to change this password. There we go. And I hit enter. So now we are setting up a WordPress site. And it's installing PHP, setting up the database, WordPress, SSL, all that. And there we are. Our WordPress site is set up. And I just got an email that let me know that as well. We're going to go visit the site. And there it is. It's vanilla WordPress. And under here, remember I said there's a go live button? It's right there. So whenever you're ready, you can just put in your domain name, and you'll need to configure DNS. There's WordPress options, your email config, site backups, site monitoring, all that stuff. You can turn on basic auth, which is requires a password to get into your site. So if you're under development or something like that, you can turn that on. There's a log, all of that. So in just a few minutes, I set up a VPS, virtual private server, and then installed WordPress. And it was super simple. So if you're looking for really cost-effective hosting that is super powerful, check out xCloud.